big board game, quite hard to fit into the camera, but hopefully it's clear enough. So we'll see one day at Horrorland game where your next ride might be your last. This is a Milton Bradley game, like a lot of games are, age 7 and up, 2 to 4 players, based on the best-selling book series. And at the top it has the "Reading is a Scream" slogan that they used on Goosebumps merchandise. The box is in fairly good condition considering its age, which we'll have to find out on the back. I am not sure if it's age. I'm gonna say, no, I'm not gonna say, I'm just gonna look actually, because it'll be right here. It's 1996, so it's some quite early merchandise really. I mean, the books predate 1996 a little bit, but it's not too long after the books first came out. Obviously they were quick to find success, and you know, before you knew it, you had a board game. And obviously one day at Horrorland, for those that know the Goosebumps franchise and the Horrorland series, it is a great concept for a board game because it is set around a haunted theme park. When this board game came out, there would have only been, you know, I believe, or was it 1 or 2 Horrorland books? Possibly 2, 1 or 2. But since then there have been lots more visits to the Horrorland side of things. Especially I believe it was the Most Wanted series, where at the end of every story, in the book's main story, they would have characters from other Goosebumps series visit Horrorland, and there would be this continuing arc. So that was a good little idea. They also used Horrorland as part of some of the Goosebumps video games there has been over the years. They did rumour that Horrorland would be where a movie was set. That never transpired in the end. Horrorland did get adapted into a 2-part episode for the original Goosebumps series, and it was a pretty good adaptation, and the books themselves are pretty good. They are very good actually. I really like the Horrorland series. So yes, this is the Horrorland board game. There have been other Goosebumps board games. There was the most recent one, I believe, based on the first movie. There's one I had as a child. Unfortunately, it was destroyed. I no longer have, but it was based on a sort of haunted graveyard. So there's that one, and I feel like there's another one as well. So there has been a few. So it says, "Who will survive all 3 rides? Welcome to Horrorland, the scary amusement park where you and your friends play for your lives. Complete a ride to collect its ride token. Hang on as you whirl around in a coffin on the Wheel of Fear. Then be sure to run fast across the horror bridge before you get knocked off. Ready for the scariest ride of all. Use a ticket card to go down the towering doomslide, but watch out. Someone may play a card and release the ride's hidden skulls. They'll roll down and take you with them. The first player to survive all these rides must race back to the entrance to win." Goosebumps One Day at Horrorland game by Milton Bradley. So contents: game board with 3 cardboard park rides, 36 cards, 12 ride tokens, 3 plastic skulls, 8 plastic pawns, 8 stands, 2 button spinner instructions. You've read the Goosebumps books, now play the game, it says at the bottom. Assembly required. Yeah, so hopefully if you can see enough there. You can see this is something that's going to be quite an elaborate sort of set piece to assemble, and it's got little moving elements, which I think is very nice. So it's a bit of an action-packed one board game. So let's take the lid off. As I say, I don't know whether everything that's needed is going to be present, but I will try and assemble it, and I'll soon find out. So first of all, we get the rule books, which I have to say are in nice condition, apart from a slight little crease there, but yeah, nice condition. So yeah, it's probably going to take a little while to assemble. So this is the board, sorry. So I'm just going to sort of spread that out. I'm just going to stand it up because it's too big for me to just get straight in the camera shot. And then what I'll do is I'll try and capture it as best as I can. So yeah, you can see it says Goosebumps One Day at Horrorland game. There's the little Horrorland monster guy. I like the little, I don't know, something about his pose I find amusing there. So you can see the monsters all around. Yes, if you're not familiar with the Horrorland concept in the Goosebumps franchise, basically a family visit this theme park. It's called Horrorland, and they make the assumption that all the monsters are, of course, actual humans pretending to be monsters. But of course, spoiler alert, but you probably worked it out anyway, even if you didn't know, it seems like they're real monsters. Right, as you can see, there's actually the spinner is actually already attached. But obviously, there's bits to attach. So that's the main board game. The main board, sorry, I keep saying the main board game. The main board. And then, in the box, fair enough, because it hasn't got like any placement to keep things in their own sections. Everything is just kind of got mixed together. But there's the Doom slide. And you can see some of the cards and the bridge. So I will well, I will jump cut to when this has been completed. Everything does seem to be in really nice condition. I can see some of the skulls there which fall down. Some of the characters, typical sort of board game characters that must be placed somewhere. So yeah, I'll jump cut to, oh, there's the spinner, to having assembled this and see what it looks like when it's assembled. But yeah, definitely a nice little find, and I'm really hoping that all the pieces are present. Let's see. Yep, so this is the board game completed. I think it looks really good. It didn't take too long to assemble. There obviously are a few bits to assemble, but the rule book is pretty good at explaining what you need to do. Some rule books I just find so confusing. I would say this one is a bit more clearer. Then you can also just try and figure out yourself. That's what I did for some of the pieces as well. But yeah, once it's all assembled, it looks pretty good. Everything was here, so it was well worth the £2. I mean, on eBay, they're asking for a fair bit more. And yeah, I really like the 3D elements. Obviously, you've got the slide. These little skulls go inside, so they can fall down and fall on your character as they're going around the fun fair. And you've got the wheel here, so obviously based on the Ferris wheel, but a horror version. You've got this spinner, so various things will happen with the spinner. You've got these cards, which will affect what happens to your character in certain ways. I guess there's some positive, some negative. And you've got these sort of badges which you can get, like, for example, I survived the horror bridge. The horror bridge is here. Or I survived the wheel of fear. That is your wheel of fear. So yeah, it looks really good. It looks like it's a good game that suits the Goosebumps brand well. Yeah, and I really do like the 3D elements. So very good charity shop find there for £2, definitely.